I'd like to share some things that I've learned from my last 3 Spartan races. Specifically, what I experienced and learned with one of the obstacles, the multi-rig, which has proven most of the time, off and on, to be my nemesis. So if we go back a few months to the Beast in Central Florida, I got on the rig and I got almost to the end, very last ring, and I slipped off, and I decided to go back as I'm in the open wave, and I didn't want to give up, and I kept doing it, and I did that probably 8 times and eventually gave up and had to do the penalty. Later, when I looked back at what went wrong, I figured out a few things. One, I didn't use visualization, one of the 4 big techniques of mental toughness, right? You visualize it, you win in your mind first. So I wasn't picturing myself going through to the end. I didn't visualize it the night before. I didn't visualize it before getting on the rig, but you need to have that positive mental picture of how you're doing it and seeing yourself finish it. The other problem I had was I got too carefree at the end and thought I was done when I wasn't, and I slipped off as a result. The lesson learned was that you're not clear until you're clear. You have to be focused and stay in the game up until the very end. 100% focused until it's over. When you ring the bell and continue on, now you're done, right? The other thing that I noticed from repeating it and getting, as you get more tired, it gets more difficult, but I kept doing the same mistake. I was doing the exact same thing every single time with regards to the actual technique. So it wasn't until later when I asked somebody who was very successful on these, and he gave me a tip on how do I tackle it differently for success. So now we go to the very next race, a few months after that, and I got through it. It was tricky, it was difficult, but I managed to get through it. And it was because I visualized it and I stayed present up until the end. And more importantly, I actually tackled it slightly different, and I used the recommendation given to me to apply a technique that helped me get through my sticking point. And then in the most recent one, a few months after that, where I just experienced the sprint in West Palm Beach, that one, I was in the age group, which means you only have one chance. You can't go back and try it again. But I tackled that one and flew through it. I truly owned that because your success will compound, because anytime you're faced with a challenge, one of the things you can use to help overcome that challenge is past victories. And what I had learned and applied, and by succeeding in the previous race, mentally I already knew I can do this obstacle and I know how to do this obstacle. So I flew through it and felt 100% better. So those are some tips, not just for tackling Spartan obstacles, but if you have one that you're working on, try to apply those techniques and don't keep repeating your mistakes. But those same techniques and philosophies will help you with any challenge in life. Stay in it till the end. Don't quit too soon. Don't lose your focus. Visualize completing it, visualizing success. See it in your mind, right? And make sure you're tackling it the right way. And if it's not working, you need to pivot and change what you're doing. If not, you're doomed to have the same outcome. Apply those, and hopefully you'll experience success in everything you do.